I made this video just to kind of, what the hell was I doing in a pageant? Been like, I'll never start a podcast. What was this? Cringy. Hi guys, and karibu sana to my channel. If you're new here, my name is GRWM. Welcome to my little space. So today's video, we are doing a chit chat. Get ready with me. I thought I'd just share my content creation journey. I was going through a couple of my old pictures from way back, and I thought this is such a good idea for a video. I've always wanted to do this video, but then I've always been like, I'll do it once I get to a certain point in my career. But I'm also just learning that, you know, tomorrow is never guaranteed, so I'm going to do it now, because why not? I just kind of want to take you through the journey of how I got into content creation, and where my love for content creation really started from, and yeah, you know, just how I started my blog, how I ended up on YouTube, all of those things. So yeah, without wasting any more time, let's get into the video.
Real hot girl shit. Real hot girl shit.
Start. Can we just acknowledge the skin? Because ooh, girl, I feel like this is the best my skin has been in such a long time. It looks so good. We're starting off with our Illegal Pro Concealer, and this is in the shade Cool Tan. I just went ahead and filled in my brows. So my mom has always been into fashion, like that has been her thing. Like even when you go back and look at her pictures from like the 80s, yo, this woman was in another level of fashion. Like she was just in her own. Yo, she would dress really good. Like sometimes I look back at her old pictures, I'm like, ooh, girl, okay, I see you. Of course, when you have a parent who's very big on fashion, she dresses you in really cute things, and I think my mom really did a good job of dressing me in cute things. She'd get me like a matching pair of like shorts and like a t-shirt, and I wasn't very tomboyish, but you know what, that look was giving. I hope I find those pictures, because so much noise in this video, but just bear with me. So anyway, I like to go in with the concealer on my eyelids just to create a base for my eyeshadow. I have to attribute my love for fashion and makeup to my elder sister, because she really was that girl too. Like she had so many cute outfits, and she do her makeup, and I used to be so jealous, and I just wanted to be like her. Although now that we've grown up, she is more of a tomboy, and I'm like the girly one who do my makeup. Like she doesn't really do her makeup these days. Like she just doesn't care about it. Like we've grown up into two very different people, and I think that's so funny. Like your siblings, you grew up in the same house, you grow up under the same circumstances, but as you get older, you both become your own people. But yeah, she was also very big on my love for fashion and love for makeup. I want to do my concealer and contour, and then do my foundation on top. Again, I'm using my Illegal Pro Concealer in the shade Cool Tan. Other things that really shaped my love for fashion was watching America's Next Top Model growing up, which used to come every Friday on KTN at 10 p.m. I have my color correct. Just want to use it here on this section. I don't know if you guys remember, but America's Next Top Model used to come at 10 p.m. and in my mother's house, if you're in school, there was no debate about the time you're sleeping. Like you had to be in bed by 9. Yeah, there was no debate. When America's Next Top Model started to come on, like we had an agreement. Like I told her, you're not going to get me out of this television. By the way, you're not. We can negotiate any other day. You want me to sleep at 9? Cool, I will go very easily. But on Fridays, I am waiting till news ends at 10, and at 10 I'm going to watch America's Next Top Model until 11, and then we can talk about sleeping. My mom is very liberal, and if she sees that you really like something and you're really into something, she'll just let you be. Now I'm using my Maybelline Fit Me, and this is in the shade number 40, and I like to use this one for my under eye because it's a little bit brighter. That was it, guys. That was it. That solidified everything. I really wanted to be a model. Who knows, maybe one day we might go down that path. Who knows, because I'm still really into it, and maybe it's something that I'd love to explore one day. one day, you never know. And I'm going to grab my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Expresso, and I'm going to use that to contour. And the salon I used to go to, they had magazines, so every time I'd go there, because I was such a crybaby, they give me magazines to read because that would keep me busy. So yeah, I used to look forward to my hair appointments because that was the only time I could read all the true loves, all the drams that were out there, because they would buy like every month because of like the clientele. So whenever I went to salon, I just find like a pack that like they've already stashed for me so that I don't cry when I'm getting my hair done. And so yeah, I used to really look forward to those moments because True Love really had a lot of fashion segments, and even Dram had a very huge fashion segment. Like they used to really talk about fashion and relationships and other things that I probably shouldn't have been reading, but you know what, I read them all. But yeah, to primary I started doing pageants, which I know you're thinking, me in a pageant? Yes, me. I decided to do pageants because I thought that is what I was supposed to be doing, right? Like I somehow convinced myself to do pageants, which by the way, I have really bad stage fright and really bad social anxiety. So even now, I cannot even tell you how I ever got up on those stages to do those pageants, because I did like the school pageants though. I did school pageant in my primary school, maybe like twice or thrice. Never won, not even once. And I also did one in high school. Yo, when I think about these things, I'm just like, what the hell was I doing in a pageant? Like I don't like pageants. Yo, pageants are not even for me. I don't know. I just it was about fashion, so of course I had to compete. Also did a pageant in high school, like maybe 2, never won either one of them, and I was crushed and I cried, yo, like cried, but it's fine. We still kept moving. The dream never died. And it was really more of, yeah, I really like this whole fashion thing, but I wasn't really sure about what I wanted to do. Let me tell you where everything clicked, where everything really clicked. So fast forward into like Form 2, a magazine came to the school. It was like an insider, but it wasn't really insider. So for the longest time, I couldn't even remember the name of that magazine until very recently. I was going through my old high school stuff and I realized it was called The Scripture. So it was like, it just had basically the content that Insider had. The Scripture came to our school and then they issued us with this magazine. I think they gave out like 1 per class. In any boarding school, you know that those things were like the excitement, because you don't really get any kind of excitement. And if someone comes with something like a novel, you book on who's going to read, right? Like from this person to this person to this person. So me, I wasn't there when people were booking to read The Scripture. So when I came back to class, I was like, everyone else is in front of me and my deskmate, because I don't know we were where. And when we came back, people had already booked on who was going to read The Scripture. So we were like, okay, fine, we're the last people. So I even gave up and was like, I don't even know if I'm going to read it anyway. I even forgot about it. So I was like, whatever, I won't even read it. I almost didn't read it. But anyway, I don't remember how I ended up getting the book, but getting the magazine, but I did. Really exactly tell you what was in that magazine, but I can for sure tell you what was at the back of that magazine. At the back of it, on the last page, was Sharon Mondia of This Is S. This is Form 2, so this is 2014. 2014 blogging was still a big thing. So it was Sharon Mondia, and then it had been written fashion blogging. I can tell you everything that was on that last page. I can even tell you what Sharon was wearing. This is how excited I was. So I got it, and then I started to read. Like I'd heard of blogging before, but I still didn't quite really have like a good idea or a good understanding of what blogging was. But this segment just kind of explained what fashion blogging was and how you can make money from it, and how, yeah, and just like the logistics of fashion blogging. So you can imagine my excitement. This was also around the time that I realized that I like to write, and I used to write Imagine I used to write novels on a book, and I used to pass them around in class and people used to read it. Yeah, so this was also the time that I was starting to realize that I love writing. Found out about fashion blogging. It was like, okay, so this thing combines the two things I love most on this earth, fashion and writing. This is what I want to do. So fast forward, school closes, we go home. When we go home, I do my research, and I'm telling you, extensive research. I researched everything and anything there was to know about fashion blogging. I wrote down what it was, how you do it, and then I got to find out the people that do fashion blogging. So that was the time that I found out about Chiara Ferragni. So I started with like the international ones. Chiara Ferragni, Amy Song, Sincerely Jules, all these people who are just killing it in the fashion game. And for me, finding out what fashion bloggers were doing on a global status was mind-blowing to me. Chiara Ferragni, who was just a fashion blogger, and by this time fashion blogging had really, like, ilikuwa imeshika kabisa. And this was the time you'd see, when I went to Chiara Ferragni's site, I remember, and her Instagram, I remember just seeing her at like front row in like fashion shows, and I was just blown away, because what was she going to like these fashion shows for being a fashion blogger? Like, that was insane. Like, the bloggers were doing so well on an international level. I was just like, this is everything I've ever wanted to do. Like, I would kill to be front row at a Chanel show. Like, I was just like, I was so excited. It's time to look at the local people. So of course I had Sharon Mundia, who I love till this, is everything for me, because I always say that's where everything started. It started with me finding out about Sharon and her blog. So for me, that is where everything kind of started. So I found out about Sharon. I checked her site. I can even tell you the first blog post I saw. She was wearing like a t-shirt and jeans and a hat, and she was writing something about casual looks or something along those lines. From there, I found out about Joy Candy, Nancy Moy, Lucia, Sylvia Njoki, of which Sylvia Njoki is the only one I knew out of all of them, but I didn't even know what she does, but I knew her. So yeah, from there I was just like obsessed. I followed all these people on all their socials, their Facebook, their Instagrams. I was reading their blogs. Like, whenever I close school, I just go to their blogs and see what they've been writing. You can imagine I was like, yeah, I'm doing my blog after I finished school, because of course I couldn't do it in school. And also at the time I really didn't understand anything about WordPress and hosting and all of those things. So it was like, okay, let's put it on hold until when I finish high school, and then when I finish high school, I'm going to start my blog. But grabbing my palette, and I'm going to use this red color over here, this one for a blush. That's when I started like my Facebook era of, yeah, I said Facebook, don't judge me please. It was 2014. It was still a thing. It wasn't the thing, but it was still a thing. Like, we had Facebooks in 2014. Don't look at me like I'm weird. You also had a Facebook in 2014. Don't judge me. So yeah, so 2014 I just decided to start my blogger journey. What I thought it was, the pictures are hilarious. Like, I thought I was serving looks. I thought I was serving looks on looks on looks on looks. Now that I went back to look for these pictures, I was like, yo, Jambi, you are a joke. You are a joke. What in the world was this? Cringy, 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 cringy. And I wasn't even using my name back then. I was using another name, which I will not even share here. If you knew me, you know the name. I'm not putting this out here. Anyway, so that is when I started my blogger series to kind of prepare me, okay, for what I was walking into. And I just started serving looks on looks on looks, or what I thought were looks, okay. I'm thankful for this little segment of my life. Honestly, I'm just so thankful for going every step that I have ever taken in my life, because it kind of led me into other things. I'm going to do my foundation. This is my Maybelline Fit Me, and it is in the shade 356, the warm coconut. I finished Form 4, and you know that period that you're usually at home before you join high school. So that was the period that I finished Form 4 in 2016. What had happened was I took my time to just kind of learn about WordPress and blog hosting and all of those things, and just kind of started, you know, to build my website from scratch, because I didn't know anything about, I didn't even know what hosting was. I didn't know anything. I was just like winging it. So I found out that there were places where you could, you know, host your website. So the first place I found out was Squarespace, but soon I came to find out that, I don't know, I think I found out that Squarespace didn't have a free version. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it was something along those lines. Then I found out about WordPress, and WordPress had a free version. So I was like, okay, let's use a free version. I was confused. Like, I was seriously winging it. I didn't know about themes. I didn't know anything about themes, plugins, how you even insert plugins, how to insert a theme. Like, I didn't know anything. 2017, maybe end of 2017, I set up my WordPress account, jambinjoroge.wordpress.com. That was it. I was not about to pay for a domain. I didn't even have money to pay for anything. Let's start there. So the time, it was like 2018, people are not really writing blogs anymore. Like, even the people I had mentioned to you had all moved to like different channels. This was when Instagram was at the top of their game. So a lot of people were on Instagram, and if you're not on Instagram, then you're on YouTube. And for me, I was just like, yo, there's no way I'm starting a channel. Who even wants to listen to me? Like, I'm not even an interesting person. At the time, that was like my thought process. So I was like, I don't know what to do. But finally, I was like, even though no one is reading blogs anymore, I'm just going to go into blogging, and I'm going to start October 8th of 2018. I remember it was after class, and I just love to take pictures, guys. That's just me. So I told my friend, Ebu, take these pictures of me. So she took pictures of me. It was yeah, she took pictures of me. I went home, I edited it. That by then I had my Huawei Y9, and it had just come out. So the camera was sick. Like, I got like the first editions. You know, these phones, when you get like the first ones, they're always really good ones. I edited my pictures on VSCO, and I uploaded them on the blog. And I was like, you know what, even if no one is reading blogs, I don't know what to do right now, but this is what I'm going to do. Blog was born, and from there I just kind of started to write more, and I found out that I really enjoy writing. I learned more regarding my WordPress and how to post things, and you know, your editing style changes. And yeah, I genuinely had such a blast having my my blog. Did it make me any money? Absolutely not a single cent, because it was a free plan, and unless you're doing like, you are paying for, you're not using the free one, and you have ads running, then that's when you can get in some revenue. And I didn't have any ads, and I never really quite, anyway, it didn't earn me any money, but it did earn me my first brand partnership, and that was with Jumia. That was my very first one, which, now that I think about it, that's insane. Who gets their very first brand deal to be Jumia? Again, were we paid? Absolutely not. It was, I send you free products, you review, you say you got them from Jumia. And so that was what I did. And yeah, I got a lot of hair products, and I kind of solidified myself as a natural hair blogger, which was not my intention. Story, natural hair blogger, that came about, that was never my intention. That was really never my intention. Around this time is when I learned about flat twists, twist outs, taking care of their hair, all of these things, when I had my blog, because I was looking for things to write. And I'd go to class and people would ask me, yo, what did you do to your hair? So I said, you know what, why not do like tutorials? Why not do tutorials? Why not start doing tutorials? So I did. I started doing tutorials, and I also started writing about, you know, natural hair, and that's kind of how I ended up into like the natural hair community. But that was never the intent. It really wasn't the intent. And now that I was thinking about this the other day, I'm not exactly sure if I enjoy doing natural hair content. Like my thing was always to do fashion content, and then along the lines, especially after Campo, because during Campo I did a lot of fashion content. Like my blog was very much fashion related, and everything I used to do was like fashion related. My Instagram was fashion related, everything. Like, I was just focused on like creating fashion content. And then somewhere along the way, just convinced myself that maybe I'm not so good at this fashion thing, and maybe I shouldn't be doing it. And who even said that I know how to dress? And I just kind of started telling myself, maybe I'll do it once I get to this and that shape. Like, I'll do my fashion content once I get to look some type of way, which when I look back, I regret so much. Like, I wish I had not told myself those things and I had stayed the course on what I wanted to do. And maybe 2018 or 2019, I don't know, I'll insert it in the screen, I started my YouTube. So I used to do my tutorials on Instagram, and the very first one I did was with Marini Naturals, and I did like a short kind of like a video, and Marini posted it, and I was like, oh, okay, I might be good at this. So yeah, I ended up doing a lot of tutorials from there on my IG. And then finally I was like, you know what, let's go to YouTube. F it, I'm just going to go. And because I fear talking on camera, you know what I'm going to do? I am just going to go there, and I am just not going to speak. I'm just going to do voiceovers. So yeah, for a very long time I did my voiceovers on my YouTube channel, until it got to a point where I did my first vlog, and from there I was very confident about speaking in front of a camera. To grab my palette, and I'm going to grab this shade over here. Every once in a while I do my tutorials. Other tutorials never did well, but I was still doing them because I wanted to post nearly every week. And doing your hair like 4 or 5 times a week so that you can get content for the channel was becoming a little bit challenging for me. So I was like, you know what, I also love to do my makeup, so let's also do makeup. And that's kind of where I also started doing makeup tutorials, which I enjoy, but they never get views. But that's okay. I don't claim to be a makeup guru, or rather it's okay now. Sometimes back it used to stress me a lot, but I guess that's also kind of like how you also get to understand what works for your audience and what doesn't work for your audience. And it took me a long time to understand that. So if I'm doing like makeup looks, I'm just doing them for fun because I enjoy them, not necessarily for my audience, because I've also learned that as much as I'd love to blow up, and as much as I'd love to, you know, become a content creator to a level where I can do this like full time, I also want to do things that I enjoy. I don't necessarily want to just do things that my audience enjoys and I don't. So the tutorials are pretty much for me because like 20 people watch my tutorials, but that's fine. I've learned to also not obsess so much with, you know, the numbers. And then from there on, just speaking in front of the camera became easy. And then I also just realized, like, the issue from the start was just I was so obsessed with what people would think of me. And there's just if I put this in the correct way, with content creation, I feel like if this doesn't work out for me, it's failing in front of people. Like, oh, alikuanga na YouTube channel and this day she does absolutely nothing. That was always my biggest problem. Like, I was always so scared of failing in front of people, because failing for me is not a problem, but failing in front of people was like everybody's going to know that I failed with my YouTube channel. And right now I low-key feel like that. I feel feel like people kind of laugh at me because I started this thing like a long time ago and I still haven't gotten really to a place where I can do it full time. And maybe I'm a little bit scared of what people say about me, which sounds a little bit stupid, I know, but yeah, we like to say, don't care what people think about me, don't care what people think about me. We do, we are humans, we do. But also feel like my self-consciousness and always just being in a constant state of what will others think about me, what will others think about me, has held me back from a lot of things, and I just do not care to entertain it anymore. Like, if this fails, easy. I'll just fail in front of people, and yeah, it is what it is. But what if it works out? What if it works out? So that's just kind of like where I am now, where I'm just doing things that I enjoy, and I'm like not letting the fear of failing in front of people hold me back, like not letting my fear of what others think about me hold me back, or rather from looking stupid hold me back from what I want to do. And also I am finding that I don't really enjoy hair content. Like, I don't enjoy doing hair content. Like, if I'm just honest with myself, like, I don't enjoy it. I do it because that's all people know me for, and anyone who's on this channel is basically here to see a tutorial, like a hair tutorial. Also, I'm really tired of my hair and I just want to cut it, but I can't cut it because I have a whole channel where I do hair tutorials. So for me, it has been a question of, okay, again, if I'm not doing hair tutorials, what am I doing on this channel? And just kind of trying to navigate that, which I think will be the story this year, is just going to be navigating that, because I want to do fashion content, but then I'm like, I don't know how to do fashion content here. I don't know, there's just a lot of I don't knows. But that's the thing, like, never, like, throughout my entire journey up to where I am now, it has never been, I've never been 100% sure about what I'm doing. Like, I've never been 100% sure, like, yo, this is like the right thing to be doing and this is the right thing to do. It has always been a constant state of I don't know. It's just I don't know, and you just go as you figure it out. You just move, you move, you move, you move, you figure it out. So I'm also learning never to say never. Like, I've always been like, I'll never start a podcast. Like, I'm not even that interesting. Like, who's going to listen to me? But now I'm just like, you know what, it's not such a bad idea. Okay, it's not such a bad idea. It's just more of navigating what I'd want to talk about. And I've also found that this has always been something that I've always known about myself growing up. When I talk, people tend to listen. I don't know why. People just do listen to me, and they always say I make a lot of sense. So I'm just like, you know, I'm not necessarily going to count out like the whole podcasting thing, but if I do a podcast, I just don't want a podcast where I just talk about love and relationships like the entire time, and how men are just men and all of those things. Like, I just don't want something that is geared towards that. Yes, if I do have a podcast, I'll probably speak about those things, of course I will, but I want it to be much more than that. So I'm also just, yeah, my point is never say never. You never know where this life will take you, and you never know where your path will take you. This video, that was just my content creation journey, and this is where I am right now, and I'm looking forward to a lot of good things, maybe more milestones and brand deals, and you know, maybe one day I can actually make money from this, like full-time, like without any other job. Like, that is just my goal. And yeah, I made this video just to kind of let you know, trust in the process and just go with you. I don't know, just go with it, just roll with it, just do it. Things will figure itself out. I am changing, and the channel is definitely going to be changing, and maybe there won't be a channel, maybe there will be a channel. You know, you never know. I'm here for the ride. I am here for the ride. That's pretty much it. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you had a good laugh with my Facebook pictures. You know, I've always been like, I'm going to take those pictures down. But you know what, I'm not taking them down. It is what it is. That was me. That was me back then. I am not ashamed of it. I am not ashamed of my path. And usually shame is just something that can really hold you down. Yo, that's a whole story for another day, but don't let shame dictate how you live your life. So again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, share with your family and friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. You know, I think my neighbor's hands hit me, because let me tell you, when I'm not filming, I never hear those hands. But let me just press the record button, then this chicken just wanna cluck the whole day. And if I put that in the video, you're going to wonder, where is this girl living that she has chickens around her? Like, in what village? And yo, I don't even know what to tell you. I even don't know. Usually I'd come here and I'd say, yo, I don't know if I'm going to post this. You know what, I'm going to post this, because why not? Why not? Why should it just stay in my camera roll? I'm going to post it. I don't care anymore.